Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission for Monday, October 2nd, 2023. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Chair Cerna.
Here.
Commissioner Wesley.
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Casirier. She is not here. Commissioner Katari.
Here.
And Commissioner Wirtz.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy is not. Commissioner Hassett.
Here.
Commissioner Turner Johnson is out today. Commissioner Evans.
Here.
Commissioner Gross.
Here.
Commissioner KAS is not here today. And Commissioner Moak.
Here.
Thank you. Yes, we have a quorum.
Very good. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before our clerk reads the statement that she needs to read, I want to welcome LaWanda Wesley to the dais. This is her first Five Sacramento Commission meeting, and we look forward to you actively participating. And this is a good group of folks, I think you'll find, and really want to welcome you. So, with that, Madam Clerk.
This meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and the AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Friday, October 6th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/metrocable14.
Very good, thank you. Again, just want to welcome those that are joined us here in chambers and remind folks that you're certainly welcome to address the commission on any item on our published agenda and any item that is not on our agenda. We simply ask that you please bring to the clerk's attention a speaker request form, and we will call you in the order that those reforms are received. So with that, let's move on to our business this afternoon. First item is approval of the August 7th draft action summary. Any member of the commission wish to pull the draft action summary or have comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Wirtz. The chair will second. And do we need to do roll call vote, right?
Correct. Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Gross.
Aye.
Commissioner Katari.
Aye.
Commissioner Wirtz.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And I assume, Madam Clerk, that we didn't have any members of the public sign up to speak on.
Correct. We do not.
Okay, very good. Then on to separate matters. Next item, please.
Item number 2 is public comments of off-agenda items.
I know we had 3 folks just join us in chamber. You're welcome to address the commission on any item that's on the agenda or not on the agenda. We ask that you please fill out a speaker slip, but I do not see anyone approaching the podium or our clerk, so I will assume that there are no off-agenda comments.
They're here for a specific item.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Okay.
All right. Next item, please.
Item number 3 is the executive director's report.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
commissioners. It's my pleasure to share a couple items from the executive director's report. I wanted to start with Parent Leadership Training Institute. We are currently recruiting for our next 2 cohorts. Excited about that. We have extended the application deadline to October 23rd, so plenty of time to get the word out still. We're especially looking for Spanish language participants. So if you have someone in mind, please send them our way. Also, we will be presenting PLTI as part of a larger workshop at the county's upcoming Racial Equity Summit later this month. So we were accepted to have a workshop which is titled Advancing Racial Equity Through Parent Partnerships. Alejandra Labrado and a couple of our fellow PLTI members, including, I believe, Jennifer Mohammed is here in the audience, is going to be presenting. So if you get the opportunity to attend, it's a 2-day summit. Most of the workshops are on day one, and the second day is more of a networking day. So October 18th, and I did send the link for registration in email, but I can follow up again if you're interested, because I think it's going to be really spectacular. It's sort of our inaugural summit to launch all of the racial equity work that the county is doing right now.
And that's at Sac State, correct?
It is at Sac State. It's a free summit, and there's free parking and some snacks, but lunch is on your own. Okay. In other news, if we've been quiet lately, it's because we've all been really working hard to get our RFPs, Qs, and As out the door. We had just released the first set. We have another round coming in October and another round in December. And then actually all the racial equity targeted funding comes out next year after doing some participatory interviews, focus groups, and getting feedback from providers and community on what's really needed and wanted with those dollars. So, yes, we hope to, well, we will be bringing you for your approval starting early next year some of those funding recommendations, both for competitive and non-competitive. Wanted to give a brief update on our racial equity, diversity, and inclusion work. It's been more than 2 years since this commission approved its resolution on racial equity and social justice, and we've been working diligently to really create an anti-racist agency at the commission. Part of that work has been bringing our advisory committee along on that journey with us. And we have been having really sort of profound conversations, discussions at the advisory committee, acknowledging some harm had been done at that committee and working to ensure that there's a safe space for discussions, acknowledging when harm is done, and really moving the whole group forward. One of the things we did at our last meeting was take the time, a huge chunk of the time, just to discuss what this looks like in our committee, and we had a set of agreements that the committee agreed upon about how they want to operate within that group, and then they requested to create a value statement that would be sort of their like North Star around how they want to interact with each other in order to really fulfill their purpose. Their purpose is to advise this commission, and they wanted to be able to talk about that in a value statement. So we're working on all of those things right now. Our next meeting is in October, and I'm really excited, can report back to you on what those final agreements and the value statement that they reach looks like. We're also documenting that whole process, working with our consultants, because it's been such a learning experience, and I think many other commissions across the state who have advisory committees and are also working on their racial equity on their journey can really learn from what's happening at our own advisory committee. So we're working to really track how we've progressed and what steps we've taken and all that stuff, and to share it statewide with others. So really cool stuff happening at advisory committee. Another thing that is launching this week is, or this month is, First Five Association has a Medi-Cal learning community. So with the launch of CalAIM and all these new benefits rolling out, and all the First Fives are kind of really paying attention, we need to get educated ourselves on how we can interact with our managed care plans and how our providers could potentially interact with our managed care plans in order to leverage as much money as possible, especially as our money is decreasing. How can others come on, and how can we use some of those dollars to really offset our losses and make sure that our services don't decrease locally for families? Two more things, because I have the time today, because we have a short agenda. The City of Sacramento's Children's Fund, I just wanted to give you a brief update on that. So that was with the passage of Measure L. They have established a commission, an oversight commission for that group that will direct the city on how to spend about $8 million per year on services for children. And we, along with Youth Forward, are going to get ready to convene do our second convening of early childhood experts across a variety of different subject matter areas, and bring them together so that we can provide recommendations to the Oversight Commission on what funding could look like for our youngest cities residents, acknowledging what we're already funding, what cuts First Five has had to make, how, we really want to make sure we're not duplicating anything with the city, and that, if possible, the city could even step in and fund where First Five is pulling away. So to do that in an organized way. So that meeting, the next one is on October 24th, and I will follow up with this commission meeting with an email to say, anybody wants to attend that meeting, you're very welcome to do so. And then one item that's not in the report but is exciting and wanted to give you an update on is that today is the launch of our new closed-loop referral system that we've built out in Persimmon Data Management System. So this commission, and especially our evaluation committee, has really been focused since we adopted our results-based accountability evaluation framework. We've really been focused on looking at outcomes, like, is anybody better off from the services that we've been funding? And with this new referral portal, we will be able to track all referrals that were given, go into the system, and allows that referral to be immediately sent via email to the referring agency, who can then pick up that email, provide a service, and it respond in the system, and then the agency that provided the service, that provided the referral, will know that the service was done, that the family received the service. This is really different from how we've been collecting referral data. We've just been throwing, thousands of referrals have been going in, but we haven't been able to say what it means. How many families got what services, and what kind of services did they receive, and where were the issues if they didn't get services, what were the barriers? So I am really excited about this sort of warm handoff, this systems change for us, and being able to track where those services are and who's getting them. And I think it's really going to be helpful from just a data management perspective. Those data entry staff at our funded program, at our funded agencies, are often so overwhelmed with the amount of data. So just being very intentional about not collecting data for the sake of data's sake, but just for collecting and using the data to better understand what we're doing. So that is exciting. It launches today, and when I come back a year from now and we talk about our annual report, we should actually be able to tell you some information about all those referrals. So exciting. And that concludes my executive director's report.
Very good. Thank you, Julie. Commissioner Wirtz.
Yes, thank you, Julie. Three questions I have for you. One's a simple one. I was reading over the RFPs, and some have mandatory letters, some have mandatory bidding meetings, and some seem to just have letters. So is there any, or what is the logic? I'm sorry.
Sure. So some of them that require the mandatory letters are more around our competitive processes because we're very interested in who might be applying for the funding. The non-competitive request for applications, those have we have sort of justified and put a rationale for why those would not have to be competitive. And so with those, we already know who's going to be applying because they were the only ones who were able to apply.
I thought of the competitive ones, there was, let's see, I don't have, I think I have my, the pregnancy one seemed to have a mandatory meeting and letter, but the family engagement seemed to only have a letter for the school districts, and then the play group and the parent cafe didn't seem to have any requirements. So,
Yes. So for the play groups and the community engagements at the schools, it is because the districts were already selected, and so it is still non-competitive.
got it, okay.
Yeah.
And the oral health has a mandatory letter.
It does, and that one is a competitive RFP for systems improvement, our very first systems improvement competitive RFP.
Thank you. That was
Yeah.
just trying to figure that out myself. Just to comment on the advisory committee's efforts, I know the racial equity discussions for many people turn into very difficult conversations. So I applaud you for the effort to work through that and to do that in a respectful and appropriate manner. So I know how difficult those kind of conversations can be, having some experience with that. And then finally, just with the closed loop referrals, as you know, the evaluation committee's been looking at that for a long time, and I'm really pleased to hear that we're to the point that we will have a way to look at the success of our referrals. I know our providers do lots of good referrals, and the question is, how do we help our families take advantage of those? And I think this will help to do this. And again, for me, it's never been about the data. It's about whether or not our families are connected in terms of the services they need. So I think it serves, hopefully it serves that function first and foremost, and then hopefully our evaluation is a way to be able to see that that's what's happening. So thank you for that effort. I know it's not easy, and I know we have Unite Us and Persimmon as different models, and but I'm glad that Persimmon has a version now that we can use, and hopefully we'll monitor its effectiveness and see how well it helps us serve our families.
Yes, absolutely. We did put out Unite Us as an option, but quite a few of the providers felt that staying within our own Persimmon system would be better for them, and so that's why we developed it within Persimmon.
And I guess just the final point about the consent forms issue. I'm hoping that our legal counsel is working with us around ensuring that that we see that this is part of the service system. It's not for data collection per se. It's part of how do we provide our families with the services they need. And hopefully we can get that, if there's any issues around that it's clear that it's not research, it's not evaluation, it's services. And how do we ensure that we get services? So hopefully it's part of understanding that that's what people are signing when they sign up for any kind of services. They're signing up for that kind of system of care. So hopefully that's not an issue. And please let us know if it is.
Yeah, I will.
Commissioner Guattari.
Yeah, thank you. Lots of exciting work going on at First Five, so thank you for that report. I just wanted to say a couple of things. One is with regards to SB 326 and MHSA modernization, we are pulling together a working group to look at how that funding is going to flow and how we need to make some adaptations in the county. So I will definitely include you or whoever you designate to that. Also with CalAIM, I know DHS is taking some leadership, Department of Health Services taking some leadership on really looking at how CalAIM rolls out in partnership with our managed care plan. So if you'd like, Julie, I can also link you to the team that's working on that. And then I just wanted to also just echo what Commissioner Wirtz was saying in terms of that closed loop referral and the importance of tracking data in that way. And we're being asked to really look at that across all of our programs. It's not specific to First Five, but because the data is much more important, because we know oftentimes we refer families who then never make it if we don't have the correct warm handoffs and whatnot. In relationship to that, the board's invested a lot of money in the Social Health Information Exchange, which is going to be our community information exchange. And as a result of the process that we're going through, we're going to be talking a lot over this next year on releases of information, universal release forms. How do we tie not only the data together, but our ability to work across systems together on behalf of the youth and the families that we serve. And so once again, I'll ensure that you stay looped or your team stays looped on those discussions, because I think they're going to be really getting off underway here very soon, and it's going to result in some really good collaborative work on behalf of our families. So thanks.
Love to hear that. It's one of the benefits of this First Five Commission being a part of the larger county, is that we have those connections, and you can make them for us. So thank you for doing that.
Commissioner Gross.
Thank you. I just wanted to note for everybody here and anybody watching this that when we say Spanish language cohort for PLTI, it's learning in Spanish, but it doesn't have to be people who only speak Spanish. We are now really hoping that we get some bilingual English and Spanish speakers who are happy to learn in Spanish, but who can also help their fellow parent leaders in the cohort to access English language materials. And so when you think about who do I know who might want to do that, also include the people who are bilingual but who could learn in Spanish with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good point. Commissioner Wesley.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
I'm excited about your new database system that will look at closing the loop. Child Care Resource Center is actually holding a statewide convening next month that will bring together Department of Developmental Services, Department of Social Services, California Department of Education on that very same thing, looking at how we make sure thousands and 10,000s of kids who are in receiving subsidized child care aren't falling through their loop, knowing that our children and families who are in Head Start or in other programs where they're receiving comprehensive services, from iVision to speech services and all of that good stuff. So we're looking at using ASQs and Help Me Grow. And as some may or may not know, I was a mom who received subsidy for my 5 children as a single mother, and I could have used those services right away when I came to Sacramento County. Eventually we got settled in, but it took a while. So my kids did end up needing speech services in elementary, but if we could have gotten those services early on, it could have mitigated a lot. So I'll share that brief report.
Thank you.
Just highlights, tidbits with you when we come back together.
Perfect. Thank you.
Commissioner Wirtz.
Thank you. Sorry, just another question. I was really excited to read, but I would like to see if you could say something more about the MHSA expansion to 0 to 5. I know in the early planning years of that, it was very hard to argue for prevention of mental health issues, which as a developmental psychologist, I'm convinced that most mental health can be prevented, not treated or early intervened, but prevented. So is this really a change of focus around how mental health is going to be perceived in terms of primary prevention?
What it represents is when the whole revise is happening with the Prop 63, the governor's revisions, there had been very little focus on prevention at all across any age range. And getting the early childhood mental health services language into it was the result of a lot of advocacy from this commission and many commissions across the state, really working with the administration to kind of share why we would want to call out early child mental health as a service. as a fundable, category of service. They didn't go so far as to say, we're going to allocate this much money for early child mental health, but they did say it's from birth all the way through 24, 26 years old. We took it as a win, and it was like a scary time. Even our county behavioral health services right now funds a really important program through Child Action and SCOE, which provides a behavioral health specialists for child care providers. So when a child is having an issue, acting out, biting, and a child care provider might think, I have to cut this child out of my program, they can call, and this is a collaborative partnership between First Five and Behavioral Health Services. So we didn't even know if that funding was going to be allowed to stay. When we talk about, there's a lot of demand for those prevention dollars, and now they're going to be cut. So keeping that language in there, I think, was our win for us, but we are still really kind of worried about what that redesign is going to look like, which is why thank you, Commissioner Katari, for inviting me to participate in that table at the county. I appreciate that.
Just add, safe, stable, nurturing relationships and environments are preventive for mental health.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, as a member of the Mental Health Services Commission, we have been talking over the last 7-8 years about, number one, the notion that we focus way too much on treatment and way too little on prevention. Number two, that we need to bring the education and the child development systems much closer together with the health systems in order to do exactly that, to begin to focus on prevention. The original MHSA Act talked about prevention of school failure. Well, prevention of school failure begins in the 0 to 5 space, not when children show up as 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds. And I just wanted to give a shout out to this county has embraced that notion in a major way, where we're posting mental health clinicians in the schools to become part of the fabric of the understanding of what the role of schools and health services can be together. And we've gotten great support from Siobhan and her team, from our supervisors, and also from the governor's plan. And the managed care plans have been very, very cooperative. So I'm very, very optimistic about where this can head, and really optimistic about being able to drive more prevention services down into the 0 to 5 space, and have our schools and our child care agencies help with doing that and be a part of it. So kudos to Sacramento County. It's been an amazing partnership, and the managed care plans.
Yep.
Thanks to you, David, for being a great partner and advocate too. Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Yeah, and I'll also say that our commission, I think, is uniquely positioned to remind folks that mental health conditions can be intergenerational.
Yep.
And often when we're treating adults, parents, we are preventing mental health conditions in children. Right. And that we, like I said, are in a special position to remind folks that families are a unit, and that everything that we do has impacts on other people in the family. So I just, while it is true that we do focus on treatment, at least in this case, treating parents is a form of prevention. So all the things that we do in First Five that links families to support services, to treatment services, is as important as what we do to link children to those children's services. So thanks for always keeping that in mind. Absolutely. When we do what we do.
It's the First Five motto, is it's the whole child and the whole family, because we know young children do not operate in a world outside of their parents.
Okay, all great comments and contributions from the commission. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on the Executive Director's report?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
All right, next item, please.
Item number 4 is the advisory committee update from August 11th, 2023, and also to appoint Maria Lopez to the member-at-large seat, a child care provider and new mother.
Great, thank you. So I talked mostly, already covered what we did at our last meeting during my executive director's report, but I'm very pleased to bring forward a recommendation to appoint Maria Lopez. She is a PLTI participant from the first cohort and runs a family child care in Natomas, bilingual family child care. So I think she'll bring some great perspective, and she is ready to jump in and go.
All right, very good. Any comments from commissioners? Chair will move the appointment of Maria Lopez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wirtz. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Katari.
Aye.
Commissioner Wirtz.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Congratulations to Ms. Lopez. All right. Next item, please.
Next item is an evaluation committee update.
Thank you. The Evaluation Committee did not have a meeting on September 18th. We punted to our optional October 16th date, so we will be having our next meeting on the 16th.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone signed up to speak on this item?
No, sir, we do not.
All right. Very good. Next item, please.
Item number 6, financial planning committee update.
We did not meet.
Short and sweet. All right. Very good. Anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
No.
All right. Next item, please.
Item number 7, systems optimization and sustainability committee update.
Good afternoon, Commission. The SOS Committee held a regular scheduled meeting on August 15th, 2023. Committee members received highlights of the 2023-2024 state budget and the status of Prop 10 revenues following the flavor ban on tobacco. Members learned about collaborative partnerships with Smile California and the Sacramento Business Journal around dental access and DEI in the workplace. This year's scope of work for Pure Genius Consulting was reviewed, as well as FRP's language around sustainability and racial equity. And our next meeting is scheduled for October 17th. In absence of appointing a committee chair, commissioners serving on the committee will rotate duties moving forward. That is the end of my report.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone signed up to speak on this item?
Not on this one, no.
All right. Next item, please.
Item number 8, approval to enter into a revenue agreement with Sacramento County Department of Public Health to provide oversight and funding for refugee family support services from October 2nd, 2023 through May 31st, 2024, and to execute second amendments to increase the funding allocations for 5 existing RFS contractors. And one thing to note, we have 2 recusals, and so that will only have 6 voting members on this item.
Okay. Dr. Kasiri, I assume you're one of the recusals, as is Commissioner Katari. So we'll give you a moment to step away from the dais, and we'll call you back in when we're done.
I just wanted to make one comment about the board item before I leave, which is the Department of Public Health needs to probably be amended. Department of Health Services is the legal name. Division of Public Health is the division under the department. Thank you, and I will recuse myself.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Over the last year, we've had the honor of working with 5 agencies that serve refugee populations, 4 of which that we have never partnered with before, thanks to funding by First 5 California. These agencies are the Muslim American Society Social Services Foundation, the Refugee Enrichment Development Association, Mutual Assistance Network, Public Health Institute, and NorCal Resist, two of which are here for public comment. As a result of the funding by First Five California, these agencies have served over 450 unduplicated families with navigation services, educational workshops, basic needs, mental health assessments, among other supports. The data collected from this pilot year will drive potential opportunities for First Five California to offer future funding. However, the soonest this may be available will be in the next fiscal year. This gap was concerning due to the impact that it will have on the families and the trust that has been built between themselves and these 5 agencies. We know that these agencies can serve the families in a way that we cannot, not only culturally and linguistically, but also because many of the staff are former refugees themselves. With backfill funding through the Department of Health Services, we can continue to build the relationships that were formed in the first year of investment. We anticipate that with this funding, 270 newcomer families with children 0 to 5 in Sacramento County will be served over the next 8 months. Additionally, this funding will expand the target population to asylum seekers. This population was not eligible for the First Five California grant, and they are not eligible for 90-day resettlement benefits, putting them at greater need for resources. So we are recommending that to approve a revenue agreement with the Department of Health Services and a second amendment to augment the current contracts with these 5 agencies to continue to serve more families.
Very good, thank you. Excuse me. Any questions of staff before we take public testimony? Commissioner Wirtz?
Yes, just clarify for me the asylum seeker range of immigrants that would cover. This is exciting to hear this, because this has been a gap and a inequity that I've really been concerned about. So please explain.
We don't know the number yet because we weren't tracking that in the data. However, from our community partners, who you may hear from, is that has been the constant response on progress reports is these are the families that are living under a bridge who don't have even food, they are at greater need. So we're glad that with this grant we can. First Five California, it was not anticipated that this would be an issue when the RFA was written, so it only covered for those who came through the refugee process, refugees, parolees, SIVs, and that was it. So if you didn't come in through that process, they were not eligible.
Well, kudos for expanding that. That's fantastic.
Right. You never know when an airplane might land in your county with immigrants that desperately need services, right? Or just coming in through any other means other than the standard way for refugees to enter.
Thank you.
Other questions by commissioners or comments?
Do we have an estimate from the county of the number of refugees, asylum seekers? I've never read one. I'd just be interested to
The
know.
number of refugees, I want to say we put in our first
3,000?
Yes.
3,000 families?
New families,
Wow.
yes. But we really don't know for asylum seekers.
Yeah.
So this will be some of our first data.
Thank you.
Okay. We have members of NorCal Resist that are here that would like to address the commission.
Hi there. First, we're going to begin by talking about the impact that the First Five grant made on some of our families, and then we're also going to talk about how excited we are to be serving our asylum seeker population. I know there was a question about who these people are, but we are currently serving our asylum seeker population on top of the refugees. Asylum seekers are folks who come through the U.S.-Mexico border and come without the ability to receive any kind of public benefit. So I could understand why data would be lacking with asylum seekers, because they're invisible, or they're an invisible population. And the three of us are most of the time, the first to meet them and help them. We provide service with basic needs, oftentimes, very direct service, very emergent, service to this population of people. So I think Molly's going to talk a little bit about the population, the refugee population who we served, and then Fatima and I do a lot of very direct work with the asylum seekers, so we'd like to talk a little more about that.
Hello, salam, hola, здравствуйте. Those are the main languages that our clients speak. That's Russian, Spanish, Dari, and Pashto. And I'm Molly. I'm one of the navigators who's been able to provide direct services, mainly basic needs, through this First Five Commission contract. Fatima and Goya provide similar services. And we, as people who live and work in the communities where these folks are resettling, it's just an incredible opportunity through this program to be able to provide them directly with the services that they need. Like, we've been able to furnish entire apartments through this service. We've been able to connect people with employment because of this service, help them file asylum applications because of this service, help get them to and from appointments, just all of these things that help integrate them into the wider population and just make our community stronger and a better place to be. I know we've all been working with these populations for several years, and we're very, very familiar with what these folks need. They're not shy about telling us, but we're also happy to serve them however we can. And the fact that we can do this on such a grassroots level directly makes a huge impact, that they have someone they can call specifically, not just a general line, but make that particular connection to build that trust is huge. It means absolutely everything, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so reaching out to the asylum seeker population, or actually being able to provide more, services to these very, unique and fragile folks is going to make a world of a difference, for us and for the population of people that we serve. These guys, again, often, come without any kind of money, without knowing anybody. They just end up here in Sacramento, and sometimes through, the use of the food bank or, an asylum, an Afghan market, they end up reaching out to me, who I'm Goya, and I pick up the main line. Or Fatima, and they pass on our numbers and find us. I mean, thankfully, right? They find us because we're able to go directly to them and assist, help. Even if it's a temporary, stay in a hotel until we can come up with a better plan between us, or get some food. We have an amazing network in NorCal Resist of volunteers, and I send out my weekly, emails to the group, to our accompaniment group, and sometimes, honestly, it's daily, if depending on what they need, but. I know that they're not tired of it, because I know that the people who have traveled such, great distances to come here are tired and are in great need. So I take great, privilege in being able to get a family off the ground, from living on, in the floor, of a friend's apartment, to being able to put beds and clothes, food, toys for children, so shoes that actually fit. This program is so important, and I'm so excited to be doing this work.
Yeah. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anyone else wish to address the commission on this item? Yes, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ezra. I'm from Sahart Initiative, Public Health Institute. I just want to thank you so much for the great effort. And we have been working with new arrived refugees families last year, and we provided over 500 services to newly arrived refugees family, including basic needs, gift card with $50, and provide stroller, car seats, and also the most important thing, we provide We provided educational workshops for newly arrived refugees, which include issues like women health problems, including cervical cancer screening and breast cancer screening, and also mental health and adolescent health as well. So thank you so much, and we're excited to continue working with you and helping new arrived refugees family. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no one else that wishes to speak, bring it back to the commission. It is an action item. So would entertain a motion at this point. Commissioner Moat.
Just quickly, I want to say, not knowing exactly how this is going to go, I am so proud that this is something that we are willing to do. Because there was a time, I love these moments, there was a time when this would have been voted down because of lack of data, because maybe the 5-year-old is 6, and just a litany of other stupid reasons why we wouldn't consider helping to support the most vulnerable people in our community when they need it. And so I'm just really super proud that we're in this spot today. So thank you for that.
Great comments. Commissioner Wesley.
I just want to say, as a mom who moved from welfare to work, I always put my lived experience in this space, how the whole child and whole family is being addressed. And I'm actually wanting to know how I can come volunteer and be a support, because I wouldn't be sitting here today if whole child and whole family experiences didn't help me work through my life challenges to getting from pain to promise. So I just want to say thank you, and come find you guys so I can see what I can do to come help. And not because I don't have enough to do, but this is the most important thing to do, is to be with our families and our communities. I just want to say thank you for your work.
Thanks for those comments. Okay. Is there a motion? All right, Chair will move. Look for a second.
Second.
All right. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll call?
Yes, sir. Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
And Commissioner Gross.
Aye.
And Commissioner Wirtz.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion passes.
All right, very good. Can someone beat on the door there? Okay, next item, please.
Next item, item number 9, nominate and appoint the 2024 First Five Sacramento Vice Chair.
Okay. Let me ask our executive director if the commission needs to know any critical information about terms or anything like that, in terms of the pool of candidates that we can or should be considering.
Yes, so we did some work on candidates' terms and figuring out when people are going to be moving off the commission, because we established the 2-term limit of 4 years each term. So we're okay for anybody here today who would like to consider nominating themselves or someone else for this seat. Commissioner Hassett has been holding down the fort for quite some time and is always willing to do it again, but always says, please ask if there's anybody else who is interested in this role. So I think we're good to go.
Great. Thank you for that.
Yes.
With that, I would nominate Commissioner Hassett. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any other nominations? All right, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Katari.
Aye.
And Commissioner Wirtz.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Congrats, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth, for your service. All right, next item, please.
Item number 10, approve the 2024 meeting calendar.
Okay, so you have before you the calendar, and on the flip side, the long-range calendar of sort of what we might be discussing at each of those meetings. There is only one change, and it's because April 1 is actually Cesar Chavez Day, and the county has a holiday, but we didn't notice that. So that meeting for April 1 is actually going to be April 8. And when we, after approval, we will be sending out later today or tomorrow the calendar invites to get it on your calendars, and it will be for April 8.
Okay. Any questions of our executive director? Any members of the public that wish to address us on this item?
No, they do not.
Okay, I will go ahead and move approval of the 2024 meeting calendar with the notation that we will not meet on April 1st, but instead we'll meet on April 8th, 2024. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm fastest to the mic.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Katari.
Aye.
And Commissioner Wirtz.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion passes.
Very good. All right, our final item, commissioner member comments. Any comments from commissioners? Seeing none. We do have communications that have been filed. And with that, our business is done and we are adjourned.